Hey everyone, what if the one person you trusted most in the world looked you straight in the eyes and said, "We took your money and your apartment, shattering every dream you had worked years to build"? Stick with me until the end of this story because what happened next will restore your faith in second chances, family, and the unbelievable power of never giving up. If you're watching right now and feeling like life has knocked you down one too many times, this one's for you. Hit that like button if you believe in comebacks, and subscribe for more real-life stories that prove miracles can happen when you least expect them. My name is Alex, and at 27 I thought I had finally made it. I grew up in a small, noisy apartment on the edge of the city with my mom, Elena, and my younger sister, Mia. Dad left when I was 12, leaving mom to struggle with 2 jobs and endless bills. I promised myself I would change that. While my friends partied after high school, I worked double shifts at a warehouse by day and delivered food at night. Every extra dollar went into a savings account I called our future. I skipped vacations, ate cheap ramen, and wore the same faded jeans for years. By 25, I had enough for a down payment on a modest 2-bedroom apartment in a safer neighborhood. I put it in my name but told mom it was for all of us. "We're finally getting out of here," I said, hugging her tight as we signed the papers. She cried happy tears that day. Or so I thought. For 2 years we lived there together. I covered most of the mortgage, groceries, and Mia's college fees while mom worked part-time at a diner. Mia was studying to become a nurse and I was so proud. Life felt stable. Then one ordinary Tuesday everything collapsed. I came home early from my shift because I had a surprise. Plane tickets for a short family vacation, the first real break we'd ever taken. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Mom sat at the kitchen table with papers spread out in front of her. Her eyes were red but her face was strangely calm. "Alex, sit down," she said. My stomach twisted. "We took your money and your apartment." The words didn't make sense at first. She explained in a flat voice that her new boyfriend, Rick, a man I had never fully trusted, had convinced her they could invest my savings in a business opportunity that would make us all rich. They forged my signature somehow, transferred the funds, and even refinanced the apartment using documents I had left for emergencies. Rick had disappeared with everything. The bank was foreclosing in 30 days. Mom said she had been too ashamed to tell me until it was too late. Mia stood in the doorway crying but didn't say a word to defend me. I felt the floor disappear beneath my feet. All those sleepless nights, all the sacrifices, gone. My own mother had chosen a stranger over the son who had carried the family for years. The next weeks were a blur of pain I wouldn't wish on anyone. I packed what little I could carry and left the same night. I slept in my old beat-up car for 2 weeks, showering at the gym I could barely afford. Every morning I woke up with a heavy chest, replaying mom's words. Friends offered couches but I didn't want pity. I ate 1 meal a day and kept working both jobs, saving pennies again like I was starting from zero. The loneliness was crushing. I missed Mia's laugh, mom's cooking, even our cramped evenings watching old movies together. Some nights I sat in parking lots crying, wondering if I had been stupid to trust family so completely. Betrayal from outsiders hurts, but betrayal from the people who raised you carves out a piece of your soul. One freezing Thursday night, everything began to shift in ways I could never have imagined. I was parked near the river, wrapped in a thin blanket, scrolling job listings on my dying phone when an old high school teacher, Mr. Rivera, messaged me out of nowhere. He had seen a post I made months earlier about my warehouse job and remembered how I used to help him fix computers after class. He needed someone immediately for his small tech repair shop that was expanding into custom software solutions for local businesses. I showed up the next morning looking rough but determined. Mr. Rivera didn't ask too many questions. He gave me a chance, a small salary, and a room above the shop to stay in while I got back on my feet. What happened over the next few weeks felt like a dream on fast forward. I threw myself into the work with everything I had left. Long hours turned into all-nighters as I learned new coding skills online. One client, a growing e-commerce company, was so impressed with the inventory system I built in record time that they offered the shop a huge contract. Mr. Rivera split the bonus with me generously. That single project paid more than I had earned in an entire year at my old jobs. Suddenly I had enough to rent a small studio, buy decent clothes, and even put money aside for Mia's tuition again, even though part of me still hurt. But the real overnight change came on a rainy evening exactly 30 days after I lost everything. I was closing up the shop when Mom appeared at the door, soaked and trembling. Mia stood behind her, eyes swollen. They had found me through Mr. Rivera. Rick had left them too, taking what little remained after the failed investment. They were now facing eviction themselves. Mom broke down in my arms, sobbing words I had waited months to hear. I was scared and greedy and so wrong, Alex. You carried us your whole life and I failed you when you needed me most. Mia whispered that she had been too afraid to speak up but regretted it every single day. I could have turned them away. Part of me wanted to. The anger was still there, sharp and real. But standing in that tiny shop, looking at the two women who had once been my entire world, I realized something powerful. Holding on to hate would only keep me broken. I had rebuilt myself from nothing in 30 days. Maybe we could rebuild together. I let them stay with me temporarily. We talked late into the nights. Real, painful, honest conversations. Mom got a better job at a community center and started attending financial counseling. Mia worked extra shifts while finishing school. I continued growing the tech side of the business. Slowly, the trust returned, fragile at first but growing stronger with every shared meal and small victory. Within 6 months, we moved into a new apartment, this time with clear boundaries and joint decisions. I launched my own small software company focused on helping families and small businesses manage money better, inspired by everything we had been through. The first big client came from a viral social media post where I shared a short version of our story. People related to the betrayal, the rock bottom, and the comeback. Orders poured in. 1 year after that awful Tuesday, I stood in our living room watching Mom and Mia laugh together while cooking dinner, something I once thought I'd never see again. That experience taught me that family isn't perfect. People make terrible mistakes when they're scared or desperate. But real love chooses forgiveness and growth over staying bitter. Rock bottom isn't the end, it's often the beginning of something better than you could have planned. If you're watching this and someone has hurt you deeply, especially someone you love, know that your pain is valid. But don't let it define your future. Keep working, keep believing, and stay open to miracles that can arrive overnight when you've done the hard work in the dark. Thank you for watching until the end. Stories like this remind us we're never truly alone. If this touched you, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next story that might change how you see your own struggles. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. I read every single one. Share this with someone who needs hope right now. Remember, no matter how dark today feels, tomorrow can rewrite everything. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong.